Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Del Mar Racetrack here on Saturday. It is the 21st of August 2021. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Del Mar, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. It's Pacific Classic Day from Del Mar, so we're gonna look at the stakes races 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. So let's get to it. A lot of action. The sixth race, it's the Torrey Pine Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $100,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies. 7 horses are traveling 1 lap around the Del Mar main track, which is 1,600 meters around, or 1 mile on the Del Mar main track. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here in the Torrey Pines. My top selection here, we're going to go with the number 4 horse, who is Forest Caraway. We'll go 4-2-1-6 in the superfecta. 4-2-1-6 super. Top selection 4 horse, Forest Caraway. This 3-year-old filly by Bodymeister. Peter Miller trains one. Gets Hernandez up in the saddle. The horse's most recent outing came the 1st of August here at Del Mar. 6 furlongs and optional 40. First race off a long refreshing. The horse won by 3 1/4 lengths there. Didn't break so clearly that day. Sat back early, slowly moved his way up, and he got the job done very easily. Coming around 2 turns shouldn't be the problem. Facing, these quality horses, I think he's sitting on a very good run. 2 back in the Inokia at Santina, 6 furlongs, 18th of October. He finished 4th by 4 lengths, and again, he didn't break that well. Was a little bit wide, and he was just mostly behind the 8 ball. You need to be on the front end at Santina last fall, and he just wasn't there. And then prior to that, Del Mar 7 furlongs and the Del Mar debutante. He finished 2nd by 6.5 lengths, and he just stalked all the way around the race course behind Princess Snore, who was the next start out winner. Again, this horse just wasn't getting there. But before that, here at Del Mar, 5.5 in a main special, winning by 2 1/4 lengths. This horse basically won for fun. Has been training well. Should definitely get the 2 turns. The running style fits her well here. At 5-2, let's take her. To recap my selections now for the 6th from Del Mar, to Torrey Pines, let's take the 4 horse Forest Caraway. We'll go 4-2-1-6 in the superfecta. God, I can't speak. The 7th race from Del Mar. It is the Del Mar Mile. It's a grade 2 event going for a purse $300,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 6 horses, but 6 quality horses, I think, going to the Jimmy Durante turf course. The distance of ground here, 1,600 meters, or a mile on the Del Mar turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here in the Del Mar Mile Handicap. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 5 horse, count again. We'll go 5-6-3-2 in the superfecta, 5-6-3-2 super. And they probably had the choice to run this horse later on in the car in the Del Mar Handicap, but they chose this race, and I think it's going to be a good one for him because his most recent race was a disaster, but we'll get to that in a second. Count again, this 6-year-old gelding by Austin again, Phil D'Amato trains, Joe Bravo gets the mount. Most recently, they ran the horse in that July 24th race here at Del Mar, Mile Nathan Yeti Reed, where he just had a horrible trip. Finished 3rd by 1/4 lengths. He was just inside behind horses. He was closing well late, but it was just a little bit too late. Hopefully with a better trip in a smaller field, I think he's sitting on a very better run. 2 back in the Turf Classic at Churchill, Mile 8th, 1st of May. He finished 4th by 1/3 lengths, and again, he sat back early. He really closed up well late. I didn't think it was a half bad race at all. And then prior to that, in the Kilroy Mile at Santina, mile on the 6th of March, he finished 3rd by a half length and closed up from nowhere. That was, again, he's close but no cigars. If he just has slightly better trips, he could really run these good races. I think 12-1 today is a very good price on him. The only really bad race for him so far this season was the San Gabriel on New Year's, just after New Year's at Santina, going a mile and 8th, even 7th by 20 1/4 lengths there, and he just really never showed up as the even money favorite. But ever since that race, he's been getting better and better, and he does decently on this turf course. If he runs the Seabiscuit in a handicap race, again, he's going to win here today. A race where he closed up from absolutely nowhere last year. I like him a lot. At 12-1, I like him so much, he's going to be my best bet of the day. So to recap my selection for the 7 from Del Mar, it's the Del Mar Mile. Let's take the 5 horse count again. We'll go 5-6-3-2 in the superfecta, single about 5 in the multi-race. So we're going to head over to race number 9 here from Del Mar now, which is the Del Mar Oaks. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse $300,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies. We have a field of 9 horses heading to the turf course. Again, the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or a mile and 1/8 on the Del Mar turf course. 1,800 meters, a mile and 1/8 here in the Del Mar Oaks. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 7 horse here, Fluffy Socks. We'll go 7-3-4-2 in the superfecta, 7-3-4-2 super. Top selection, 7 horse, Fluffy Socks. This 3-year-old filly by Slumber, Chad Brown trains, Joel Rosario gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 23rd of July at Saratoga, a mile on the inner turf course in Lake George. The horse finished second by 1/4 lengths. The narrow turf course does not play towards closers at Saratoga, but he sat back early. He really had a strong turn of foot late. Technical analysis, the stablemate just had the jump on him, but this horse just ran decently as good behind him at 12-1. Coming here today, back to the turf course where the horse won as a 2-year-old, I think this horse should really run a good race. Also drawn very well. Two back in the Wonder again at Belmont, 1 mile in the 8th on the 3rd of June. A very wet turf course, which rated good, but was the softer side of good. He finished 5th by 3 lengths there, and he just kind of stalked all the way around the race course, a little bit wide. I was just kind of lackadaisical there. And then prior to that, the Memories of Silver at Aqueduct, mile 16th, 18th of April. He finished second by a head. Again, closing up from nowhere. It was just a little bit too late there. And then prior to then, the Jimmy Durante here at Del Mar last season, going a mile, winning by a half length. He was drifting a little bit late, and it probably would have, if the race was a little bit longer, it would have made it interesting. But he still got the job done, even though he was a little bit green, closing up from nowhere. I think you'll see a good pace for him to run with. He likes a very fast turf course, it looks like. He's going to get it today. Training well at Saratoga. 4-1, let's take her. To recap my selections now for the 9th from Del Mar to Del Mar Oaks, let's take the 7-horse Fluffy Socks, 7-3-4-2 in the superfecta. The 10th race now from Del Mar. It is the meat feature. It is the Pacific Classic. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse of $1 million. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses going the distance of ground, the classic distance of ground of 2,000 meters, or a mile and a quarter on the Del Mar main track. 2,000 meters, a mile and a quarter here in the Pacific Classic. And a lot of people say this race should be a grade 1 this year. Without being, I don't know if it's grade 1 quality, but it's a good betting race, I think. I'm going to take the 3-horse Dr. Post as top selection. We'll go 3-4-2-5 in the superfecta. 3-4-2-5 super. Top selection 3-horse Dr. Post is 4-year colt by Quality Road. Tom Pletcher trains. Joel Rosario comes from the east to ride this horse. The horse is most recent out of him. The Monmouth Cup at Monmouth, the mile 8th, the 17th of July. Winning by 1/4 lengths. He sat back early, stupidly wide, but when he got the lead, he took off clear, a very good run. He's getting no Lasix again. He had Lasix last time out. No Lasix again today. Just keep that in mind. But he has run decently without them. Two back here in the Metropolitan Handicap at Belmont, 1 mile the 5th of June. And he finished 5th by 8.5 lengths. He didn't break that well, and I think he just faced a little bit too speedier kind of horses there. He just couldn't keep up with them. He looks like he could be a little bit of a mile quarter plotter kind of horse. And then prior to that, in the Westchester at Belmont, 1 mile 1st of May, winning by 1/4 lengths. He was much the best, earning a career best 104 buyer from a starting position. He got the job done very easily and could have probably won by more. His final start as a 3-year-old came to the Jim Dandy at Saratoga last September, a mile 8th, where he finished 4th by 3 3/4 lengths, and again, stupidly wide, and Mystic Guy just had the jump on him. But he had a decent third, I thought, in that Haskell last season, and a very good place before then, the Belmont over the mile 8th last season. I think he wants the mile and a quarter. He's training well at Saratoga. 4-1, let's use him. Don't throw out the 4-horse Royal Ship either. His San Diego handicap race, I think he needed the race there. He was just a little bit lackadaisical. He got a very nice place before that in the Gold Cup and a very nice victory in the Californian at Santina before that one. He's on the up and up at 7-2. Don't throw out the gelding because I think he got the job done also. But to recap my selection for the 10th from Del Mar, it is the grade 1 $1 million Pacific Classic. Let's take the 3-horse Dr. Post. Give kudos to the 4-horse Royal Ship. 3-4-2-5 super. 3-4 in your multi-race. The 11th race now from Del Mar. It is the Del Mar Handicap. It's presented by Japan Racing Association. It's a grade 2 event going for a purse $300,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 11 horses heading to the Del Mar turf course. The distance of ground of 2,200 meters, or mile 3/8 on the Del Mar turf course. 2,200 meters, mile 3/8. The Del Mar Handicap. I always like these longer races. My top selection here, I love the 4-horse United. We'll go 4, 5, 8, 11 in the superfecta. 4, 5, 8, 11 super. Top selection 4-horse United. 6-year-old Gillen by Giants Causeway. Dick Mandela trains. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 24th of July at Del Mar, mile 8th in Yeti Reed. And the horse won by a neck that day. He basically sat back early, closed up well late. He got there in nick of time. It was a good run. Something I've noticed, when he wins, he doesn't win by a lot. So he kind of pulls himself up late, but he kind of gives you a heart attack late, but he got the job done there. Two back, it was a head scratcher in the Winningham at Santina, mile and a quarter, the 29th of May, where he finished 4th by 4 3/4 lengths there, and he just had nothing. Award winner just ran his race of his life there, but this horse just didn't show up there off the bench. And then prior to that, the San Luis Rey at Santina, mile and a half on the 20th of May, he won by 3/4 length from starting position. He got the job done very, very easily, facing 4 other rivals. And then before then, the Breeze Cup Torrey finished 8th by 9 3/4 lengths there, and he just really was very overbet. don't bet those California horses face going east in turf races, because the California horses always get overbet in those races, even though the eastern turf horses are much the best, and especially in the British Cup when you have the Europeans coming over and the Europeans go 1-2-3 or 1-2, and we're just clearly much the best. He just ran horribly there, overbet. Before that one, they had John Henry very easily, and then he placed last year's Del Mar Handicap where he didn't break so clearly, and he just had a very lackadaisical run. But before that, when they had a read here last season, he does like this turf course. He won the Eddie Reed the last 2 seasons, and he won before that in 2019 over the mile and eighth here, 2-1. He's drawn well. Let's take him here. The 5-horse Master of Hounds, not the Master of Hounds that you heard of, or Master Foxhounds. Not that Master of Hounds that O'Brien trained many years ago, but I think this horse for DeSormo has a strong chance. His Manhattan race, I thought, was a very good run, even though he had a little bit of trouble tripping in the stretch run. You could throw out the turf class. I do think it was a little bit too short, and I do think the San Marcos and Stanley Ray, if he runs those races today, he really run a good run. If he's just closer at 8-1, I think he'd also get the job done. We'll use him to blow up this multi-race, but to recount my selection for the 11th from Del Mar, it's a Del Mar Handicap. We'll take the 4-horse United, give kudos to the 5-horse Master Foxhounds. 4, 5, 8, 11 Super, 4, 5 in your multi-race. So good luck to them. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.